Hi, I'm Kenny Klaus, and this is State 48 Homeowner.
Merry Christmas to everyone. This is Scott Koyman with you, and just had a wonderful, wonderful holiday. And my kids got way too much stuff. And so it comes to that time of year that we look around and we go, you know what? We have too much stuff. We need to find a place for all the new stuff. And what do we do? How do we donate things in our homes? And so I've got two incredible guests with me today from Sunshine Acres Children's Home. We have Christina Kaiser. Hi, Christina.
Hi, thanks for having us out.
And from ASA Now, we have Annika Robinson. How are you?
Doing wonderful. Thank you for asking.
So let's talk about, people always say, you know, how can I donate stuff and where does it go? So I think one of the key things is for you guys, before we dive into what your organizations do, what exactly, if people are looking through their house today and going, I need to get rid of stuff, what kind of stuff are you looking for? Christina?
Yeah, we actually have a donation drive-through where we accept all kinds of donations, pretty much anything that is not ripped, torn, stained, or damaged. So that's going to be any kitchen items, it's going to be home decor, it's going to be bedding, pretty much anything within your household that can be repurposed and somebody else can find that treasure. We do resell those items in our stores, and all of those profits go back to the children's programs to support what we're doing in the children's homes. So all of those items are really beneficial to us.
And as they come in, they're going to be, some of it you guys will use directly, and some of it you guys are going to sell.
Yeah. All the homes, the house parents, managers, everybody has first access to that. So we actually have a lady on the store side who goes through those items for us and says, oh, the homes need this. And the house parents kind of give her a list of items and say, you know, we're looking for these things that are in need for the home or for the children. And then they go through that stuff and make sure it gets back to the homes first before it even goes on the floor for people to purchase.
Okay. And then Annika, what kind of stuff are you always looking for?
So ASA Now serves children that have been impacted by foster care. So all of our immediate needs, we are the only nonprofit in Arizona that is open 24/7, meaning if we get a request at 2 o'clock in the morning, whether that's coming from a child welfare caseworker, that's coming from maybe an aunt or uncle who just took in, 3 or 4 kiddos. Most of these are low income zip codes that they're coming in through. And so the things that they will need, right, just 5 days worth of clothes just to kind of get started and help them. And so tops, bottoms, pajamas, anything that has to do with like hygiene kits. And so if you're looking through your home and maybe you're downsizing, some of those extra items, toothbrushes, toothpaste, anything that you can think of to go in a hygiene kit, we most likely need. All of your children's clothes that is still in, good condition. So we don't want anything like Sunshine Acres that's been ripped or torn. Some of these children specifically have gone through unimaginable trauma, and we want to give them clothes that they're proud to wear, even if that might be the only 5 outfits that they have for now. And so when you're looking to downsize, those are great items for us to receive. Also, perhaps you've moved and now you no longer need maybe a high chair or a crib or a toddler bed, things like that. So these families who are taking in children impacted by foster care could use some of those items. I've had next door neighbors or a teacher who took in a student say, I literally had to go through my life savings to purchase a dresser, to purchase a bed, to purchase bedding and towels and things of those items. And so we can, with your permission, post that photo of your furniture that you're no longer in need of. And then someone will come and pick it up from your home. If for whatever reason there's privacy that you don't want to give out your address, if it's something small enough that we can keep at our community center, we will do that. We've often had, cribs, car seats, things of that nature that we give out. So we do food distribution every other week. And we also open up any items that we've received in our building for families who have, just received children to come in and pick up those items.
Okay. So let's talk about, you guys are both two of the best nonprofits in our valley because you help kids, and you help kids that need love and need people around them. So let's talk about Sunshine Acres. I think a lot of people know of you guys. A lot of people know where you are because you do have the thrift store as well. But let's tell everybody exactly what you guys do.
So at Sunshine Acres, we have capacity for up to 70 kids at a time. We have 7 homes, so there's 10 kids in each home with live-in house parents that kind of have a little attached apartment that is attached to the children's side. So those house parents are there just like a mom and dad would be in a home, and we really create a loving Christian home environment for our kids that they feel more just like any other kid out there. They go to a public or charter school. They are getting devotions at home. They're getting to go to church. They're part of the community doing outreach. Our pastor is really good about getting the kids out there. So we really try and create that kind of environment for our kids and give them stability that they haven't necessarily had from their past. A lot of our kids, they do have some sort of parent or guardian. They are not orphaned, and that's a little bit of a different niche than people typically are aware of. But they are voluntarily placed with us by that parent or guardian, and we just have power of attorney over them to be able to take care of their needs medically, within school, stuff like that.
So where do a lot of those kids come from? What are the situations like?
Typically, it's going to be the family is suffering from homelessness. A parent could be incarcerated. They could be ill and needing care. It could be a grandparent who can't financially provide for the child. Just different scenarios like that. There can be abuse involved. A lot of our kids come from traumatic backgrounds, and we have counselors that meet with them on a regular basis, and our pastor that meets with them, and just kind of helping them process whatever has happened in their past and reach for a successful future.
And what is the time frame that kids are generally there at Sunshine Acres?
Our average is about 2 to 5 years. It's a really wide range. We have kids who are there maybe 3 months. We have kids who have been there for 10 years. So it really does have quite a wide range.
Okay. Annika, tell me about ASA Now.
ASA Now was started by 3 foster adoptive moms 6.5 years ago. I started it out of my home by meeting immediate needs. And so we were doing the clothing, we were doing emergency food boxes. We started holding parent night outs every month to give caregivers a break. From there, we moved to life skills for teenagers so that they would have the opportunities and knowledge to be able to age out and know how to open a bank account, how not to get taken advantage of if they were purchasing a car, how to have housing, how to have money in the bank, all of those things, budget, and eat correctly on a very limited food budget. That grew to having holiday parties. And then from there, we opened up a second nonprofit, which is Jacob's Mission Community Center. And that's our after school program. I should also mention that it's a volunteer driven center, meaning all of those immediate needs orders, all of the workshops that are offered, all of the life skills that are offered, all of our holiday parties and foster children's birthday celebration, all of those are done through the help of volunteers. This last year, as of the end of September, we had served over 3,000 families, over 9,000 children, and gave away over $350,000. And that could be either through those immediate needs clothing, through the backpack distribution, through food boxes, or our biweekly food distribution. And our after-school program, we, again, through the help of volunteers, we do tutoring, we do dance, we do musical theater, karate, yoga, piano, ukulele, we do PE, we do cooking classes. We really do a lot. I think there's like a dragons and dungeons and Legos even. And so it's all been, again, through just the generosity of donors, because they'll do their tax credit, contribution for $1,000. It's matched dollar for dollar, but then we just turn, right around and we're able to offer all of these amazing things to kids. So just for example, for our last event, we were able to give gift cards to children who were in need of specifically, clothing items. And so because we don't really have the capacity to fill 200-300 orders in one day, then we have the ability to give them some gift cards to get some necessities. And so again, it's kind of like this ebb and flow of the orders that come in and what goes out. But we always, as soon as that donation comes in, we're able to bless more families. And so, we're, again, anybody who wants to volunteer, if they've got kids' toys, since we're talking about Christmas, maybe their kids receive too much, but they've got some toys that are still in great shape, great condition. We would absolutely love to give those away at our monthly events or during our food distribution. Families love being able to come to pick out items, and especially little kids. If we have a parents' night out and we've got a bin full of stuff that they can take home, they're loving it. They're just smiling from ear to ear. So we serve anyone who's been impacted by foster care. So that could mean someone who was just barely removed. That could be someone who's been in a, group home or a family setting, foster home for 1, 2, 3 years. Or that could be someone who was adopted, but they're still in need of, like, say, tutoring, because that trauma doesn't go away just because they were adopted. So we still give them that opportunity to come in. So I'll share with you a few statistics. 2 out of 3 children in foster care who age out within a year will end up either homeless, in jail, or dead.
Now, when do they age out?
Most of the time when they're 18. If they're still 18 and in foster care, the system will allow them to stay until they graduate from high school. But from there forward, they're basically on their own. And so looking at that statistic and knowing that over 70% of our members who are in prison, U.S. prison, were in foster care at one point or another, and over 80% of those on death row, again, were in foster care at one point or another in their lifetime, that really shows us the ability to make an impact in their life early on and not allow them to fall victim to being another statistic. So only 32% will graduate from high school, and only 1 to 3% will go on to get a college degree. And again, so knowing that these, because of their acuity, they suffer PTSD at twice the rate of our veterans. So think of that. Men and women who have gone on to serve in war, who've witnessed horrible situations. And foster children, a little 7-year-old, a little 9-year-old can be impacted twice as much. That goes to show you the severity. And so we want to be there to help them heal from their trauma, but then also just give them the time and space to be able to just bring a smile to their face to help them get caught up, academically. We also opened another nonprofit, and that's Shade Tree Academy. So actually during the day, we have a full-time trauma therapist in staff. And so from Monday through Thursday, children have about 20 hours worth of therapy versus the typical 1 hour, 2 hours, once a week that they would be receiving through the system. So these are all through donations that we're able to pay them, but we're able to help them heal a lot faster to allow them to go back to their school of origin. We do have an academic instructor as well, and they do get equine therapy once a week. And so again, the hope there is to help them heal from their trauma much faster. When you're in a state of being able to stay regulated, then the learning can take place. When you just witnessed your dad kill your mother and you're expected to go and sit in a classroom the very next day, it's just there'll be zero learning happening. And then also there's acute behaviors that come with that. So for the caregivers through ASA Now, we're also able to provide them workshops and trainings to better equip them to handle the behaviors that are coming their way or that their children are, exhibiting.
Okay. It's sad that kids have to go through this kind of instability. Very, very diverse group of kids that are impacted.
Well, I think like she talked about, it makes such a difference when they're able to have that stable environment, when they have all these people backing them and mentoring them through that they get to process that emotion of whatever trauma is going on in their life, whether that's through the horse therapy. We have that as well at our facility. And we have an academic director, those people that are in place, the counselors, the pastors, the house parents. There's also relief house parents, support staff. Like every person on that campus makes a difference in those kids' lives just by being there and being a stability and showing them, hey, you can reach for a better life. You can succeed. You don't have to let those traumas stop you. And it's such an important message for those kids.
And what I love about their organization is prevention is at the forefront. So these are caregivers who are stepping up and saying, for one reason or another, I don't have the ability to parent my child. And so I'm going to allow Sunshine Acres to take my child temporarily, or it might be forever, right? Because there's kids who have graduated from there. On our place, it's the parents who have gone to such a drastic abuse, neglect, or even, again, killing someone in front of them or something of that sort, or where they've landed, in jail, that now the state had to step in and remove them. So in the state of Arizona, we have over 14,000 children in care, and we only have 3,000 licensed foster families. a lot of the children end up in group home settings, end up, in residential treatment centers. And so again, prevention is always at the forefront, which is what we're trying to do, is help them not become another statistic. But on their end, this is beautiful to see a biological parent stepping in and understanding and realizing I need help and seeking them out rather than waiting until the state, had to step in because they were in imminent danger and had to remove them from that situation.
Hey everyone, this is Kenny Klaus with Klaus Team Real Estate Solutions. We know there's a lot of confusion in today's market, whether it's billboards, TV, radio, mail. Everyone's trying to get your attention. They offer one lane, where at the Klaus Team, we have over 20 different programs we can help you navigate through to find out what's best for you. And remember, we work for you, they work for themselves. We're here to represent you and make sure you have the best experience possible.
Visit us at klausteam.com/call us first. So let's talk about, we've got people, you guys got amazing things going on, and I know people want to help, and if they've got stuff. Before we dive into what the best way to get it to you, let's talk about what we don't want. Because I've seen things that, sometimes, an old couch that looks like it's been through multiple haunted houses. And people go, oh, this is great, let's donate this. What are things that we don't want? You said you want things that are not stained, not broken. What are some things that you've gotten that you're just like, wow, I'm not sure that we can use these?
I'm not sure. I know one thing I like to always mention with this is that it's about maintaining the child's dignity. Mm-hmm. And so things that those kids are going to take pride in and want to wear of the clothing, or, items that they come in that they're going to be proud of and be able to use those items effectively. I think that's just always important. They're coming from these hard places, and we want them to be able to see that better life. And so when they aren't worried about just those random little things of, oh, if I'm wearing this torn up shirt to school, like, people are going to notice, and what are they going to think about that? And like, that is that peer viewpoint is so important to our kids, of just being one with their community. And so those things that we can still provide to them that are, whether it's brand new items or just well taken care of items, like, I think that plays a part in just their dignity of participating out in the community.
Yeah, there's a lot with kids, and especially with teenagers, that they want to have a sense of stability. It might not be normalcy, but it could be stability, and to be a part of the crowd at school, to not be, oh, that kid, obviously shops at secondhand stores. It's hey, that's just a regular kid, and we can provide that by getting them stuff that they want to wear.
Absolutely. For us, since we do food distribution every other week, we obviously collect items. And so to your point, there's a lot of families who are maybe downsizing. And so they're going from this huge walk-in pantry to now maybe a 2-bedroom condo, or, just their pantry space is that much smaller. So they'll donate their food, but we still need it to be non-expired food. We obviously don't want children getting ill or getting sick. I've seen a cake mix that was, 10 years old. And so I'm sure that was an oversight. They weren't really wanting to donate.
No, I just have to say, I have found that in my own pantry as well.
Yeah, so if you are collecting items to bring, it makes it that much harder for us, in time that we're spending away from being able to serve our community one-on-one, from having to review each one of those, because it will stand out. For example, if you're going through and all of a sudden you're like, oh shoot, now I'm going to have to check the whole badge. And so it's really important if somebody walks in and says, I checked all of these and they're not expired. So even if they're 3 weeks away from expiring, families can still use it, right? But we just don't want food that's expired. We just cannot give it to them. Again, a lot of these children have, been exposed to drugs, and so their immune system is down, and we just can't have that liability. As far as clothing, we have even seen some items that were very, very inappropriate that you would not want a child wearing, where you're like, this is I drink wine or something, just, it can be something that's silly that an adult would wear, but not appropriate for a child to be wearing to school. And so we do look through all of those donated items. In season is also best just because it's that much harder for us to keep in our pod.
Yeah.
For example, right now we're going into winter. And so the clothes that we're going to be giving out are winter clothes. So we prefer, the winter clothing at this moment because this is exactly when we're giving it away. We don't have the ability to really keep items. And if we did, like say another 6 months from now, they'd probably be yellowed. And so we want to make sure that we are, getting clothing that we can give out because it is immediate needs. And so we have to give it to them, every single day. We have requests coming in. We also do birthday requests. And so maybe in your closet, you've got a few extra toys that maybe you purchased that were on clearance or, something along those lines, and you're not going to be using them. We would love to have those to give those away for birthday requests.
Yeah, my kids and I play a lot of board games, and we've got a big closet, and we keep getting more games, and so periodically we just can't fit them in there, and so we kind of go through them and, hey, which ones have we not played in a long time, and are we not going to play again? And those tend to make it on over to you guys over there because
absolutely, and our kids love them.
Yeah.
Our after-school programs, we also invite the parents to come and play games with the kids when they're done with like tutoring or dance. And so you see them sitting there, on the table playing a card game, doing a puzzle. You see them on the ground playing, again, a card game or doing a puzzle or something along those lines, Legos, anything that helps those caregivers be able to help them attach to that child and vice versa. A lot of kids have attachment issues. And so this allows them to just be by themselves one-on-one away from their home environment. Also books. Our children love to read. And so we have a lending library. They can take that book home and keep it, or they can come and swap it out the next week when they come back. Or maybe they have tutoring, 2 times a week. And so they come back. We've had kids that, took it and they come back and they're like, oh, I'm done. I'm all done. I'm trading it out. But again, if you have books that your children are no longer reading and it's just taking up space and that they're not going to read it again or it's not meaningful to them, we'd love to have them because we just go through them so quickly.
So let's talk about the best way to get stuff to you. Christina, what is the best way for people to donate?
Depending on the items, if it's going to be stuff that's going straight back to the children, so like school supplies, games, toys, clothing for the kids, that stuff would all kind of filter through our front office, actually. We have a special storage that is just for our children, personal hygiene items, anything like that. And then for our drive-through donation center for the stores, you guys can just bring the items straight there, and there are people there to help you unload your vehicle with any of those more household type items. And then if it's large items that you're not able to get to us, we actually have a pickup line that you guys can call and schedule a donation pickup, and they will come out to your house. And they have a couple of rules and regulations with that of just what they ask you guys to do, like putting it out on the curb or in the garage or something. But they will come out and take those items for you, so you don't have to figure out how to get them to us.
And for ASA Now, what's the best way to get stuff to you guys?
Absolutely. If just calling, they can go on our website, asanow.org. Our phone number is listed there, which is 623-428-1592. We like to just have a heads up, even if it's, hey, I might be there in an hour. It helps us to maybe get a volunteer or two to help pull those donations, but also just allows us to know where those items are going to go. Especially if we have kids coming in and out, we might ask, can you do it outside of the tutoring time when we're not having hundreds of kids walking in through our door? It makes it a lot easier if it's maybe during the daytime or if it's an evening schedule or even a weekend or something like that. But if you just call us again, we can always make it work. If you got to be somewhere and you're going to be in the area, we are in Mesa, and this is the time that you can make it, we'll make it work. But just give us a heads up, even if it's, again, an hour. Hey, I'll be there in an hour.
Okay.
We'll make it work.
And Christina, how do they get a hold of Sunshine Acres?
You can call 480-832-2540, and then the pickup line is 480-981-4114. So they'll be able to help you with that.
And as people are getting to the end of the calendar year, and we're getting to the end of 2022, let's talk about tax credits. How do those work?
Yeah, we can do, for single filing, I believe it's $400, and joint filing is $800. And we are Arizona Charitable Tax Credit, so you guys can just call on the phone. You can send in a check. There's pretty much any form of donating, like we are able to take in, and then we will provide a receipt for you guys.
And as people do that with both of your charities, that makes a big difference because it is just dollar for dollar. It reduces your Arizona tax by the amount that you pay, and it goes directly to help children.
So for ASA Now, the max for married filing jointly is $1,000. It's $500 for an individual. And that one is all of the immediate needs, the workshops, the clothes, all of those things. Jacob's Mission is our after school program. And that is a QCO, qualified charitable organization. And that one, just like Sunshine Acres, is $400 for an individual, $800 for a family. And so again, they can go to asanow.org. The donate button is there. They can also mail it in or come and drop it off. We'll give them a tax receipt. If they pay online, it's automatic tax receipt that they can give to their tax accountant.
I think it's important too to note, like we've talked about donations, whether it's physical items or monetary donations, like our organizations are so much largely run by that. Like that's a huge part of us, and it matters whether it's the volunteers donating their time or donors donating financially or those physical items coming in for our kids. Like all of that plays a role in it. And for Sunshine Acres specifically, like we are not government funded. So that like makes all the difference for us.
Same here. We're, run by volunteers. We don't get any grants or anything federal. And so your donations are what's impacting the lives of these children.
And lives change. I just have to say, before we go, how unbelievable it is that we have so many people willing to give up their lives to be house parents or to be foster parents. We need more of them. We need a lot more. If that's something that, if you're listening and if you've got some extra love in your heart and some extra space in your life and you want to just love on people, it doesn't have to be a full-time thing. There are people that are able to, what do you call it when you go and help take a foster kid from the foster family just to give them a little break? Respite care. Just to be able to go over to Sunshine Acres and love on some kids. And
we are hiring for house parents, so
so
got to tug on your heart.
Yeah, it would be a great way to start off your new year by just giving your love to kids that are just missing out on a huge part of a normal development. We'd love to see more people involved in that.
I have been a licensed foster parent now for 15 years. I currently have 9 children. And so a lot of people are always shocked and say, well, why haven't you stopped? Most people do it 1 or 2 years and then they're kind of done, right? And I always say, well, because we still lack foster parents, right? Mm-hmm. So I said 14,000 kids in care and only 3,000 licensed foster families. For anyone, maybe your heartstrings have been pulled while you're listening to this, where you think, just like I did 15 years ago, I can step up and do something about this, right? I have an extra bed. Even if it's a baby, they can sleep in your bedroom. And so if you are looking to foster, I actually license families. So I do the trainings for another agency. I love to do it. Why? Because once you're done with your licensing, I have the ability to wrap my arm around you and walk you through the entire process and be there to support you and help you, again, with the family socials that we do, birthday parties, all the holiday events. We give you the clothes, we give you the food, we help offset those, grocery bills. And so if you are looking to that, just reach out to us. We'd love to help you. And if you kind of like, to your point, maybe you just have, an hour once a month to give, sign up to do respite, sign up to come and do our Parents Night Out, come and put a smile on a child's face for Easter, right, at our Easter event. Any way, shape, or form that you have the ability with your children to come and serve, or just by yourself, even 1 hour once a week through after school programs, we'd love to have you.
Yeah, one of our agents on our team, Hope Kopp, is a foster parent, and man, you see that she'll get a new infant come in, and sometimes it's just for a little bit, and then sometimes it's longer term. My niece was a foster child, and she ended up getting adopted by my sister and her husband, and that was it's been so neat to see her just have a loving home, and where she was just kind of abandoned, and then we've got kids that it's so wonderful to see that parents are just saying, hey, I can't do this right now, I just need a little bit of help for the time being, and to see so many people just pouring into them to give them a sense of family And that's what both of your programs are about, is to give kids that don't have a family in the moment to give them a family. And that's a great way to come here on December 26th to be able to celebrate that. So thank you both for what you're doing. And everybody, if you have stuff that needs a new home, there's some kids that really need it. So thank you both.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for spending time with us this week at State 48 Homeowner, the ins and outs of owning an Arizona home. You can connect with us for more information, submit topics you'd like us to further discuss. You can see relevant videos, give us feedback, answer your real estate questions, and more at state48homeowner.com.